Hello, my little ghouls and goblins. Today we are going to be looking at the process of making the boat from the show Arcane. If you've watched that show, it is Viktor's boat when he's a young child, and my niece is going to cosplay a young Viktor in a few weeks, and I wanted to make that for her. My cats also make an appearance, as always. I think all three of them are actually in this video. So this actually took me quite a while, and I had to speed up a lot of the footage because it would have been several hours long, and I don't think anyone would have stayed around for that long. So yeah, I'm okay with the results. I think there's a little bit of things I could have done better, but I'm sticking with that. It's a child's toy from the show, and he didn't have a lot of money, so there's gonna be some rough parts on it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I bought this wooden boat online, and all the instructions were in Chinese. I don't speak Chinese. I know a good bit of Japanese, but Chinese, no, I do not know that. So I just kind of followed the pictures and put it together as best as I could, just following along with the pictures. It really wasn't too hard, but it had a good base for the boat that he has in the show. I want to say also there wasn't a lot of imagery on what the boat actually looks like. There's a lot of grainy pictures out there. And if you watch the episode that they show it in it, they do show it a few times, but mostly what I can find was fan art, so I was just kind of going off of what I could find and filling in the gaps myself. So this boat is meant to be battery powered, as you can see here, but I do later on take off that motor and battery because it got in the way of the design and it just didn't make sense for his boat, which I believe is like steam powered or something in the show. I can't remember. It was in season 1, and I honestly can't remember, but I did my best. And it's mostly made out of this wood and a few more pieces of wood, lots of cardboard, lots of glue and paint, and hopes and dreams, and that's what I made it out of. But my niece loved it, or she's just being super sweet. I don't know which one it is, but you know, it's done now. So there's that. And my black cat is behind me crying at me. Hi, buddy. Hi, baby. Thought about gluing these pieces in, but they kind of snap in pretty well, so I didn't have to. Except for these pieces, these propellers on the side, they keep falling out. They fell a couple times during the video. It might be sped up too fast for you to see it, but they do fall out a lot, and it's annoying. And that's pretty much the boat put together from the instructions. There's a little foam piece on the bottom, which you don't have to add, but I added it to give it some height, and that's it. That's how you put it together. So at this point, I've then started to make it look more like the Arcane boat. I got some pieces of wood to make the top a little bit taller, and they're from like Dollar Tree wooden crafts. So it's either going to be in the toy section or the wooden craft section. And here they are. I cut them off camera because I was afraid I would cut myself. I'm not very good with tools, so I didn't want to film that part. And there's my cat. This is how I work every day, in case you're wondering. There's always a cat there. And this part I am just using like really thin pieces of like poster board and just kind of gluing it around to get the height that's needed for the front there. And then this back part has like this little detail in it. It almost looks like a box with like a thing in it. And so I used popsicle sticks and I cut them and made them to the box shape that goes onto the back. Yeah, here it is here. And then this is a dowel that I'm cutting to the length that I need for the inside of there. Again, off camera, because I didn't know how that was going to go. I didn't slow down all of it or speed up all of it. It is slowed down in some parts so you can kind of see what's going on. And then to get the rings on it, I used little like bolts and then glued them in place. A lot of this you're not going to see too much. Once it's painted, it kind of hides all the imperfections pretty much.
Simon, what's the matter, baby? Simon. Simon, come here, baby. What's wrong? What's wrong, baby? What's wrong, honey? You're very sweet. You're very sweet. I'm right here. You're okay, buddy. Hello, most handsome. You knew you're the most handsome, aren't you? Do you like your blankie? Mommy just washed it for you. Yeah. You got stuff in your fur, buddy. Mommy got it out. Oh my gosh, you're the most handsome little gray kitten. Your mommy's a baby. Go on, go snuggle back on your blankie, baby.
So at this point, I started shaping the top front part, again using some poster board and some wood that came from, this one's actually from a Lowe's kids kit that sometimes Lowe's and Home Depot does kids projects, and during COVID, they weren't allowing in-store projects, so they would allow you to just pick them up and take them home. So I had some wood from one of those projects. I don't have kids, but it's always nice to have those little pieces of wood on hand. You never know what you're going to use them for. So this is the top part of the front. I don't know what it's called. I don't know anything about boats. And just gluing that on there and getting it ready. This part here, I didn't realize it would be too small, and I would need bigger sides to it. So like cutting those sides on there just didn't really do anything. I should have just waited, and when I attached the sides, just kind of added them, but a little too late for that at this point. I didn't feel like ripping it all off and starting again. So this part's going to be the front balcony of the boat. This is where people would stand, I guess, to look out onto the sea. And then to make the front balcony railing, I'm using toothpicks that I'm cutting, and I had an idea and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it did. So I got all my toothpicks and I cut them to roughly the same size as best as I could, and I got a whole bunch of them. As you can see, they're all piled up there. And then I got my silicone mat, and I thought maybe if I just get glue and glue all the toothpicks in a line, it would still be flexible enough to make it bend around the front like I need it to. But I wasn't sure if it was working. It would work. I should have redone it. I might redo it because I was running out of glue at this point, so my line is really squiggly. And then what I did was I placed the little cut toothpick pieces on top of the hot glue to make the balcony part. Like I said, I might redo it. I think it'll be a little difficult to redo at this point since it's already glued on, but I did try and cut that top to make it as straight as I could. It wasn't so wiggly, but if I had more hot glue in my hot glue gun, it would have been more straight and not as difficult. So if you want to do this, make sure you have a lot of glue in your hot glue gun so it won't be as wonky. And always make it bigger than you think, because you can always cut it away. But if you make it too small, then you have to start over, and that's annoying. So you have to wait for the hot glue to set all the way. And then you can pull it up from the silicone mat. They actually sell silicone mats at Dollar Tree. I have one from Dollar Tree. I love it. But this one, I believe, is from Timo because it's bigger. So this is what it looked like when it was dry. And you can see they are stuck in there. And I tried cutting it to make it more straight. The bottom parts were not easy to cut. I cut it later on with a really small scissors to make them more straight on the bottom. You can't really get the big scissors in there, so off camera later on I do cut them down with a really small scissors, like the scissors that come in nail kits to cut your cuticles. That's pretty much what I used. It is a bit flimsy, so you do have to glue it down onto the base, but it was the only thing I could think of. So I'm going to sound very old here, but when I first started cosplaying, there was no 3D printing, which would have been really, that would have been easier to do. It was just 3D print it and be done with it, but I didn't want to do that. Like I said, when I first started cosplaying, you didn't have that option. There was no 3D printing. There was no go to Amazon, type in your favorite character, and buy the costume. No, you had to make everything from hand. Like everything. If you couldn't find the fabrics, then you were dyeing the fabric. So a lot of this stuff that I learned was just making my own costumes over the years. There was also a lot more fabric stores back then than there is now. Now you're kind of limited to online and like Walmart, I think a lot of Joann fabrics are closing, so not too many options out there for fabrics, at least where I live. So this part kind of messed this part up here. I had to redo it. It's kind of what it looked like at that point. the sides need to be one continuous piece, and I didn't do that, so then later on I had to go back and fix that as well. And my calico is here to say hello. Hi, baby girl. Hi, say hi. Oh my gosh, that was such a cute little meow. I know, baby girl. You're so sweet. She likes to make appearances on my conference calls, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's so cute, she's so sweet. And I'm like, oh yeah, she puts this act on. Whenever the camera's on, she's just like, look how cute and cuddly I am. And then as soon as the camera turns off, she's just like, leave me alone, don't touch me, feed me, servant. Right, baby girl? Oh, you are sweet. It's okay. You're very sweet. So this part here, I'm cutting to make the small propellers on the side. I originally made them too long, so I had to go back and cut them later on once they were already attached. It was much more difficult. I know, princess. I know. I suck. I'm sorry. So these are not the big propellers in the back, but there's like smaller ones on the side. To get the middle, I just got a piece of cardboard and glued it into a circle, and then I'm just gluing these little tiny popsicle sticks around it. Oh, I know, honey. But they did end up being too long, so I had to cut them down. And you'll see that in a little bit here. Oh my goodness, yeah, you're so pretty. I did have a lot of cogs and wheels that I could have used, but of course none of them looked like exactly like the ones from the show. So I had to improvise a little bit there. For how many I have, I can't believe I didn't have any that were exactly like it. Or if I found one that was exactly like it, I couldn't find a matching one. And I was mad. Oh my goodness, Jess, you're so pretty. Thank you. Thank you for the snuggles. She was giving me kisses earlier. She's being very sweet lately. She's buttering me up for something. So this is me cutting down the sides because I realized I made them too long. Oh, nope, that's not it yet. Oh, thank you for the kiss, baby girl. Oh, you're so sweet, princess. Thank you. So for the details on the side on his boat in the show, there's a couple like spots that look like patches and like little decorative pieces. I used a combination of popsicle sticks and pieces of this cardboard. Oh, she's pawing at my mic now. She wants all the attention. Yeah, so this is when I realized they're a little big. So I'm gonna have to fix that. And the bottom of the boat. I was waiting to put this on because I knew once I put the bottom of the boat on, it would be much harder to sit it flat. In retrospect, I probably should have put this on before I put the sides on so that it would look more seamless, but I didn't do that, so here we are. What's up, baby girl? I know it kind of looks like a child's project at the moment. I swear it gets better once it's painted. I swear. It doesn't look so bad. And then for the back pieces here, I used a dowel, and then for the one that kind of bends upwards, I used a bendy straw and cut it. And then for the funnel at the top, again, just cardboard that I cut in a circle with a circle in the middle, and then cut it through the circle so that it can bend, and glued it down, and then put it at the end of the straw here. later on, I do end up gluing that down better. And then there's another little piece of the top there that I used, another piece of wooden dowel that was just sitting around.
Oh god,
And then,
oh god. Ship on the board, ship on the board.
Having some technical difficulties here. So these are like these little pieces inside the boat that I don't know what they do, but I was trying to measure for them. And now we're starting the painting process. So from the pictures I've seen, it is a combination of like this sea green patina look with gold and silver and copper. So I kind of kept all the pieces that should be those colors, and then for the rest I just took some artistic liberties since there's not really good pictures. So the top of the boat here is like this copper color, and it does appear in a couple other places on the boat, but a lot of it is like that sea green color that copper turns when it's exposed to too much seawater. The other problem I had a lot was my hair kept getting everywhere. To make the sea green metallic color, I use those three colors you see at the top there. So it's like a seafoam green, a silver metallic, and a little bit of a gray just to make it more dark, to give it that kind of more patinaed look. The inside of the boat was really hard to paint, and I probably should have painted that before I assembled it, because it was really difficult to get into all those cracks. I had to do, I think, 2 or 3 coats of the silver. Metallic paints are notorious for being more watery, and you need more coats. So then I got my little sponge here and started sponging on gold, black, and then the seafoamy metallic color that I made for those 3 colors you see on the top here, and some more copper as well. I wanted to add some black because it needed to look a little dirty and a little rough. And then there was like a couple fan arts that had the paints were more, I don't know what my cat is doing. Oh, he's playing with his toy. How adorable. The paints looked more like swiped on as opposed to like spotted on, but I liked the idea of it being spotted on with like the sponge, because it then looks more realistic to me. Again, it's really hard. There's not too many great pictures of what it actually looks like, but Simon, buddy, mommy's right here, honey. Come here, baby. You're okay. He's crying for me again. He does this from time to time. Come here, buddy. Come here, handsome. I know, you're very sweet. Come here, baby. Well, we're almost at the end here, and I hope I inspired you to make your own boat from Arcane, and I hope you learned from my mistakes and maybe learned a couple new tricks if you want to make your own. And that's what it looks like at the end. So, not so bad, I don't think. Until next time, stay spooky, my friends.